It's the final weekend of the GT Sports Club here at Misano. There's championships to be decided. The qualifying race is going to be coming up in a few moments' time, and we'll be bringing you all the action here live. So stick around, and when the race gets going in about 15 minutes' time, we'll bring you everything. It's the final weekend of the first ever season of the GT Sports Club. We're here at Misano for the final two races. My name is Jack Nichols, and we're going to be bringing you all the action of this 25-minute qualifying race that's coming up. We can't see the championship settled in this qualifying race. It will go down to the main race tomorrow, and as the sun goes down here in Misano, I think we're going to be treated to some very entertaining action, because at the top of the championship there's just 2 points separating the main protagonists. 21.2 degrees is the air temperature. The track temperature is at 22 degrees, so the temperature's coming down, and that'll be very interesting for these guys because they only had their qualifying session and time on track earlier on today. So it is going to be interesting to see how they cope with the different conditions that we've got out there. And the circuit is floodlit, so it won't get totally dark. And we're probably in that sort of middle period now, aren't we, where it's dark, but not dark enough yet for the floodlights to really make too much of a difference. And you can see, I don't think actually the floodlights are on at the moment, but the cars are making their way around to the grid, and it's going to be a Ferrari on pole position. In fact, the top 6 cars on the grid are all going to be Ferraris, the 458 Italias, and it is Mario Cordoni who is the man who will be starting on pole position in the number 52 Ferrari. And he is third in the championship at the moment. There you can see the 48 car of Martin Lanting, and he looks set to wrap up the Iron Cup. He currently leads the Iron Cup by 26 points, and we've only got 33 points available. And so if he just manages to maintain that margin today, then he will be the champion. Car number 8 there, that is Cedric Mezar. He is the man who is second in the championship at the moment, and he is going to be starting in 3rd place on the grid, crucially just behind Max Bianchi, who will be starting in 2nd place on the grid and is the man leading the championship. 42 alongside there is the entry from Patrick van Klabbeke, and there is the 52 pole sitting car of Mario Cordoni. And don't totally write him off yet either. A wonderful weekend in Algarve for Mario. He won the qualifying race and the main race, both at a canter really, and he is 20 points behind Bianchi at the top of the championship with only 33 to go, so it would need something catastrophic to happen to Mezar and Bianchi for Cordoni to take the title, but he will be trying to finish this season as high up in the order as he possibly can. You can see car 23, Max Bianchi for the Kessel Racing team, 3 different teams in the top 3 positions, which is good to see. There's a lot of AF Corsa cars here. They enter 6 in this championship, but it's AF Corsa on pole, Kessel Racing second, and Scuderia Villorba Corsa third on the grid. So that's good to see. As I said, this will be a 25-minute race. The main purpose is to set the grid for tomorrow, but there are points available. Fantastic to see Phil Bergen here in the United Autosports Audi R8. He's going to be starting further down the grid in 9th position for Phil Bergen, the Englishman, who will be racing, as I say, for the United Autosports team. Regular British GT racers have competed in select Blancpain Endurance Series events as well. As there you can see the rest of the cars making their way to the grid now. The pit lane is closed, all the cars are on the grid, and they are starting to prepare. And there you can see Jean-Michel Bart, who's driving for the WRT team, so they know their way around an Audi R8. Bart is going to be in 7th place, and Martin Lanting, who we were just talking about, in 5th position. He is on pole position in the Iron Cup as well, so things looking very good for him to take the title in this qualifying race. Beautiful venue here in Misano on the Adriatic coast in Italy, and it's been built since 1969. Well, in 1969 it was designed, and then it was finished in 1972, but it was extended to its current length in 2006, and in fact in 2006 they changed the way the circuit was run. It used to be an anti-clockwise circuit, but in order to comply with the World Motorcycle regulations, they had to run it anti-clockwise, because otherwise some of the corners were a little bit too dangerous. For example, running down towards, if the last corner had been the first corner, there'd be no runoff because it loops back around on itself, that kind of thing. So the decision was made to make it run clockwise, and mainly a bike venue this, but obviously it does have car races as well. 4 kilometers long, 2.5 miles. Lap record here, as far as bikes concerned, is Casey Stoner, a 1:33.9, and so only a second or so quicker than these guys here. And there is the pole man, Mario Cordoni, 1:34.8 in qualifying, 3/10 quicker than Max Bianchi. And the thing that will concern Cedric Mézard in their fight for the title is that he was 2 seconds off the pole time. He's third on the grid, so that's great and everything, but he wouldn't have wanted to be that far back down the field. As we have a look down the grid, a sea of red Ferraris. 42 there, that is Van Klabbeke. Then on the row behind, you've got in 5th position the 51 car of Christoph Ulrich. Alongside him, 48 Martin Lanting, who's the man leading the Iron Cup, as I say. Are we missing the HTP Mercedes? I think we are, so perhaps a problem for William de Pundert, because there should be a Mercedes there on the right-hand side, but it is missing by the looks of things, so hopefully he'll be able to start from the pit lane. Don't quite know what's happened to him. He competed in qualifying, qualified in 10th place, completed a reasonable amount of laps, but yeah, that's a shame to see de Pundert not taking to the grid. So the engines are fired up, and the race is about to get underway. As far as the championship is concerned then, Max Bianchi leads it with 63 points. On 61 points in 2nd place is Cedric Mézard. In 3rd place is Mario Cordoni. He's 20 points back off Bianchi, so he's got 43 compared to Bianchi and Mézard's 63 and 61 respectively. Also still in the championship hunt technically is Stefano Pizzucci, but he hasn't raced since Paul Ricard, so he won't be winning it because he's not here. And he's 4th in the championship standings as well. And even Martin Lanting, down in 5th position, he has got 39 points. So he is still technically in contention for the title. It would take something monumental for him to win the title, but he is still technically in championship contention. So the safety car pulls away, and then the cars will follow and make their way around. So on the left-hand side, that's Mario Cordoni, the man starting on pole position. Max Bianchi is alongside him, the red Kessel Racing Ferrari with the black bonnet, making that easy to spot. Then in third place, Cedric Mezar. The cars will now head around this circuit and try and get some heat and temperature into their tyres and their brakes for that run down towards the first corner. It's always very interesting to see these drivers attack the first turn. There's a lot of movement can be made at the start. Cedric Mezar, for example, took the lead, lost the lead at the start in Algarve. A great start from Mario Cordoni. Gave him the advantage going down towards the first corner, and from then on, really, he never looked back. So 25-minute qualifying race to decide the grid for tomorrow's main race, but also a chance to get some points on the board. And there is the HTP Mercedes then. It sounds like it will be going, but missing the start, unfortunately, so presumably some technical problems for them. But they're making their way now out onto the circuit, so that's great to see that we will have Willem Paulus de Pundert out there on the track. The cars are down at the hairpin now of turn number 8. And here's a look at the order in which they will start. It's Mario Cordoni then who will be starting on pole position here for the final qualifying race of the season. Max Bianchi alongside him. It's Bianchi versus Mezar for the title. Mezar has a 2-point advantage. Bianchi has a 2-point advantage over Mezar and is starting in front of him. So that is very good news for him as far as the championship is concerned. Mezar will be desperate to get past. Then we've got Van Klabbeke, 4th on the grid. Ulrich Lanting, Bart Sonnenbergen, De Pundert and Luzic, the 11 cars, although of course De Pundert will be starting from the pit lane. So the sun beginning to go down, the lights on most of the cars, if not all of them. And the nerves in the AF Corsa garage are beginning to build. And the sun going down actually is going to be a real problem for the drivers at certain points of the circuit. Just trying to figure out where the sun's going down, sort of over there, isn't it? So in the stretches between turns 3 and 4, it could be an issue. Also coming up to the final corner at 15 and 16. But I'm sure these guys will be able to cope with that despite the difficulties. Good crowd in attendance here at Misano, and with enough Ferraris on the grid to satisfy any Italian's appetite. The final qualifying race of the season in the GT Sports Club is about to get underway. It's Mario Cordoni on pole position. Bianchi alongside him on the front row, the championship leader. Mezar and Van Klabbeke are on row number 2. 25-minute qualifying race to decide the grid for tomorrow begins now. Very good start there, darting out, and that is Mezar trying to get through past his championship rival Bianchi as they come down towards the first corner. Mezar isn't going to be close enough. It was also a good start from Van Klabbeke as he looked to the outside, but he runs a little bit wide, but he has managed to get past then Cedric Mezar and move up a position. Good start as well for Ulrich. He's holding the inside line under pressure from Michael Lanting, but it's Cordoni who has the lead as they break away now. Down towards this sequence of right-handers and a spin, and that's the 51 car that's facing the wrong way. That's Ulrich in the AF Corsa Ferrari. Perhaps some contact down there, but it's Cordoni who leads, Bianchi second. Van Klabbeke then has got in the middle of he and Cedric Mezar. So that is not the start that Mezar wanted at all, as they make their way around the hairpin of turn 8 and then up towards the turn 9 and 10 sort of double hairpin. Turn 9, not really a corner, you use it to just position yourself for turn 10, and then we get out onto the fast section of the circuit. Flat out, up towards the kinks at turn 11 and 12. What a good start it was for Mario Cordoni then. immediately they're starting to spread out a little bit up at the front. But there is Mario Cordoni through the final corner. He has really got it hooked up recently, and Max Bianchi's going with him, and now the problem is that Cedric Mezard will need to get past Van Klabaeke as quickly as possible, because already the guys in front have got a 2-second advantage. So Mezard in 4th, it's Michael Lanting in 5th place, and currently leading the Iron Cup class, so that will give him the position to win the title. Then it's Bart, Sonen, Bergen, Ulrich, Luzic, and we have had De Punda leave the pits, but 17 seconds off the back of the queue. And look how quickly Bianchi is pushing here. He's taken half a second out of Cordoni's advantage in the first sector alone. So Max Bianchi wants to give himself the best possible advantage going into the championship decider tomorrow. There's 2 points between Bianchi and Mezard at the top of the championship, and it can't be sealed here because there's only 8 points up for grabs and 25 up for grabs tomorrow. So there is car 8, Cedric Mezard, as he tries to find a way past Patrick Van Klabaeke in front of him. Onto the brakes into 14. Getting some warnings already about track limits. None of our main competitors. But look how close Cedric Mezard here as they come up towards the final corner. Through the left-hander of 16. Cordoni has just under a second advantage over Bianchi. There's only half a second between Van Klabaeke and Mezard in the battle for third. Things started well this year for Max Bianchi with a win at Barcelona. Cedric Mezard finished second in that first race of the season. But then it was a difficult weekend in Paul Ricard for Bianchi. That's where he lost ground in terms of the championship fight. Only finished in 4th place. But a 2nd place in Algarve means that he is leading the championship and is closing right in on Mario Cordoni, as you can see here. Absolutely nose to tail through the flickered 11. They pick up some real speed here, don't they? Fantastic stuff. The gap between Cordoni and Bianchi really ebbing and flowing. Bianchi is absolutely flying in that first sector. For the last 2 laps, he's been half a second quicker in the first sector alone. But then it kind of ebbs away from him in the remainder of the lap. So as they come across the line, it's down to 0.7 of a second. So Bianchi was quicker overall on that previous tour. Here's the continuing battle for 3rd place with Van Klabaeke. And then, right behind them, Martin Lanting is under quite a lot of pressure now from the WRT Audi of Jean-Michel Bart. And they've got Louis-Philippe Sonen right behind them as well. So there's Bart in the 12 WRT car, using all of the curb and a little bit more. And he needs to be careful because here comes the attack from Sonen. Oh, he's coming from a long way back there. I don't know if Bart saw him or not, but they managed to get away with that one for the time being. Louis-Philippe Sonen on the attack as they come now out towards the hairpin at turn 8. Sonen fancying a look now. Yes, he is, but again, not quite close enough, and that's compromising his speed more than anything else. And look at this, side by side, Van Klabaeke having to defend. The attack is on from Cedric Mezard. Mezard's got the cutback as they come out now onto the long back stretch. They're absolutely side by side, these two Ferraris. Van Klabaeke is going to have to relinquish the position there and drop back down into 4th place. So Cedric Mezard has gone up into 3rd position, and meanwhile Louis-Philippe Sonen has managed to get past Jean-Michel Bart. So Sonen is up into 6th place behind Lanting. So Lanting in 5th, still leading Iron Cup. Bart in 6th. Sonen in 6th and Bart in 7th. Now Sonen is in the Iron Cup as well. So these two are now battling for the lead in Iron Cup. And if Sonen finishes in front, he'll keep the championship fight going down to tomorrow. Whereas if Lanting finishes in front of Sonen, then that's the championship wrapped up and over. But I don't think Bart is at the end of his run with this one, is he? They're in the number 12 WRT car. And all running very wide there, aren't they? There's only half a second now between the leader Cordoni and Max Bianchi in 2nd place. So that lead battle is very much on too. Action everywhere you look at the moment in this GT Sports Club race. And there are the two leaders up into turn 11. And then you've got Cedric Mezar, who's got past Van Klabbeke, but isn't really pulling away. They were separated by only 0.3 of a second in qualifying, those two, so I guess it's not to be expected that he would immediately pull away. A fantastic battle everywhere in the order. As Mezar comes down into the first corner. It's not awful news this for Mezar, because he will, well, the gap will go up to 4 points between him and Max Bianchi. But obviously you'd rather bring down the gap than see it extend. And then you've got Patrick Van Klabbeke behind in the AF Corsa Ferrari. Two Ferraris running nose to tail. Van Klabbeke making a bit of a mistake there. Meanwhile, Bianchi has caught up to the back of Cordoni again, although, well, yeah, Bianchi took 2 tenths out of him in Sector 1, and Cordoni responded by taking a couple of tenths of the lead away again in Sector 2. So it's really ebbing and flowing. Car 53 must respect track limits, and that's Sonen, isn't it? Louis-Philippe Sonen, turn 6, that is. So that's the corner before the run down to the hairpin. But these are our two race leaders. Mario Cordoni in the AF Corsa Ferrari, being put under a lot of pressure from Max Bianchi. On the brakes, through the double right at 4 and then 5. And then this is turn 6. This is where the people are being warned for track limits, running too far out wide on the run out onto the back stretch. Fantastic speed and a little nose towards the inside from Bianchi, but he's not close enough at the moment as he tries to take the lead of the race away and provisional pole position, I suppose. And it's all kicking off here, isn't it? There goes Jean-Michel Bart trying to get through, and he has got past Lanting. And Lanting's going to lose out to Sonen now as well. No, Sonen's already further off up the road, isn't he? So this is Ulrich who's getting involved. So has Lanting got a problem in that 48 car? No, I don't think so. I think he just must have been mugged. They come up onto the brakes, and it's the 51 car ahead of the 48 car. So Ulrich has managed to get past, and I don't know actually. I wonder if there might be a problem for Lanting. Well, no, he's still keeping up, isn't he? It was just sort of on acceleration that he seemed to not get the kind of drive he would have wanted. So that's the man who, at the moment, could have wrapped up the Iron Cup class, but I don't think he's going to here because the gap will come down. At the top of the class, it'll be down to 24 points if things stay like this, with 25 points available tomorrow. Meanwhile, this is the lead battle again, 13 minutes to go. And Mario Cordoni is the man leading the way. Max Bianchi's pushing hard, a little too hard there, I think, running a little wide, and that could have cost him some time. As a result, Cordoni's able to stretch his advantage just a little bit. Through the right flick, and that great long sequence of corners. There's some lappery going on here, and Cordoni's made his way through pretty quickly, and Bianchi getting a little held up. Nothing too severe. But not ideal. There's Cordoni across the line. The gap now up to 1.2 seconds. It was down as low as half a second at one point in the race. And we're getting a black and white flag for car 12 for disrespecting track limits. That is the WRT Audi of Jean-Michel Bart. So there's the third place battle across the line. Mezard still ahead of Van Klabbeke. And still the fight goes on, and that's a look up the inside from Bart. Are they going to touch? Not quite. Louis-Philippe Sonnen holds on for the time being. He's in 5th place, but he has got Jean-Michel Bart, a very determined Jean-Michel Bart, right up behind him. Desperately trying to find a way past. This is the battle over 5th place at the moment. And that WRT Audi looking very racy as they come down now towards the hairpin. Behind the pair of them is Christoph Ulrich, the Swiss racer. And look how defensive they went down into the hairpin. Louis-Philippe Sonnen really covering the inside line just in case there was a late attack from Bart, who doesn't seem like he minds a late attack. This 4-car queue is all over 5th position, coming through the kink at 11. There's Ulrich with Lanting behind, and they've made a bit of a gap away, haven't they, from the two chasers. Just a tiny gap back to Ulrich and Lanting, and Ulrich actually having to go defensive. We've got 10 minutes to go. And this is the battle over 5th place, and he's going for it to the final corner. Goodness me. Jean-Michel Bart in that WRT Audi pushing super hard, and that's Cedric Mezard. Cedric Mezard facing the wrong way. I think that's down at turn 1. And the man who is 2nd in the championship is facing backwards and is dropping down the order, and that could be the moment that costs him the championship. Disaster for Cedric Mezard. Now we go back to this battle for what is over 4th position now. Sonnen leading the way and keeping the Iron Cup championship hopes alive. Sonnen defensive into the hairpin. So, still a warning for Jean-Michel Bart about track limits. So he can't push too hard in his attack. And he's actually dropped back here, hasn't he, into the clutches of Christoph Ulrich. But Ulrich is in turn hasn't got away from Martin Lanting either. But taking a good line through 15, and Ulrich's attack may put him under pressure from Lanting. So 8 minutes to go. We've got battles to be settled everywhere. Up at the front, Mario Cordoni is now 4.5 seconds clear of Max Bianchi. And Bianchi can take it easy now, and there's another look from Bart coming into turn 1. Quite close enough again, Jean-Michel Bart, but he's going to start nudging him now. The pressure is really on for Louis-Philippe Sonnen as they come through turn 6. Noses towards the inside on the run down to the hairpin at turn 8, showing his intention, but he's not close enough. He's still, these two are getting so close. Throughout the whole race, this battle's been absolutely fantastic. And look who's coming in the background. Cedric Mezard, the man who needs to climb back up the order to try and save his championship challenge. Lights ablaze as the sun continues to set here at Misano, and what a GT Sports Club race we're being treated to. There you can see the gap at the front, Cordoni and Bianchi up to 5.6 seconds now. Then Van Klabbeke is all by himself in 3rd position. But then it's this frantic 4-5-way fight over 4th place. Sonnen, Bart, Ulrich, Lanting, Mezard. All closer than the speed of which I can say them. Here they come, down towards turn 1 again. And watch for a move here, because Ulrich went very aggressive into turn 1. No, not quite. Lanting's not quite going to be able to take advantage of that. Now they're coming up to some back markers. And they squeeze towards the inside, and everybody safely makes it through, almost 3 wide there. And that was Lanting trying to take advantage and attack to the outside of Ulrich, but he wasn't close enough to pull it off. And Bart's run very, very wide, coming out of 6. That gives him a good run. Coming down to the hairpin at 8. Still not quite close enough. And they all, every single one of them, noses to the inside, but isn't close enough. What a great 5-way fight here. Out onto the back stretch, only 5.5 minutes to go. Cordoni now is 6.2 seconds up the road. So he's really into the zone. Max Bianchi running in 2nd place. It's now Martin Lanting's turn to get a black and white flag for disrespecting track limits. Oh! And I think Ulrich has just lost out to... No, sorry, that was Lanting losing out to Mezard. So Lanting running very wide, and as a result losing out to Cedric Mezard, who then is back up into 7th place. Final warning for Jean-Michel Bart and for Lanting for track limits, but Bart doesn't seem to be taking any heed of that at all, does he? Wide at every corner. This is all still the battle. There's the move from Mezard. Is he going through? He's on the grass. He's bouncing his way through and just about keeps it on the track. I think he'll just get away with that one. Goes past Ulrich up into 6th place then. Now here's Bart in the 12, WRT Audi. This is all over 4th place. It's Louis-Philippe Sonnen who is in that 4th spot at the moment. Cordoni, Bianchi, Van Klabbeke, the first 3 in the queue. In the race. And then it's this queue. And there's the look from Mezard, decisive, down the inside, coming into the hairpin. Oh, he doesn't quite make it through. Bart holds on. But Mezard's got a great drive coming out of the hairpin. He'll be on the outside line though, for turns 9 and 10. He's going to try and do it though, Cedric Mezard. What a move! Wonderful stuff from Cedric Mezard. The Frenchman in the Scuderia Valourba Corsa Ferrari goes around the outside of 1 and then up the inside of another into turn 11. And that could compromise Sonnen here. And that could give Bart the opportunity. Looking to the inside. Not quite close enough. But he's going to be closer than he has been in a while now. So Cedric Mézard goes through. He's up into 4th place. So it's once again a battle for 5th position between Sonnen, Bart and Ulrich, with Michael Lanting a little further back. Now there's the move from Bart into the final corner. He's never going to stop that, is he? Yes! Great move from Jean-Michel Bart. He's now up into 5th place. Sonnen is back into 6th, but he's now lunging one down into turn 1. Bart tries to get the cutback, but Sonnen it is who holds the position. And it's Ulrich who's in 7th place, who's got a grandstand view of all of this. So Mézard now starting to break away. Only 2 minutes and 40 to go. Mario Cordoni is leading this qualifying race for the GT Sports Club. Max Bianchi 2nd. Patrick Van Klabbeke 3rd. 4th is Cedric Mézard, but 5th is Sonnen. 6th is Bart, and 7th still, yes, just about, is Ulrich. As they come through the hairpin, this also means that the Iron Cup title won't be decided right now. It'll probably still be decided in favour of Michael Lanting tomorrow. Goodness me. As they come towards the Kinkert 11, they've now got Willem Paulus de Pundert in the Mercedes, the HTP car, in between them. So we'll see how well they deal with that traffic. Here, meanwhile, is our race leader, Mario Cordoni, having a lovely Sunday evening drive on a Saturday, of course. Saturday evening drive, I should say. Their 2nd is Max Bianchi. 3rd is Patrick Van Klabbeke. As they make their way down the back straight towards turn 11. And there is Mario Cordoni, continuing to lead this one very commandingly. The title fight will go down to the wire tomorrow. Bianchi will have the advantage, but Mézard will be there or thereabouts. Sonnen, who's in that 5th place still. As here comes Cordoni to start his final lap of the race. And still, Jean-Michel Bart is trying to get past. And still, he's not quite close enough to make a move stick on Louis-Philippe Sonnen. Looks to the outside as they come around the hairpin of 8. That could put him under pressure here. So he's got Ulrich right behind him. There's nothing Ulrich can do about it as they come into 10. Through the Kinkert 11, and Bart now isn't close to the back of Sonnen. It's Ulrich who's close to the back of Bart. As they come through the sequence of corners for the final time. But here is Mario Cordoni. It's been a superb drive from him. Took the lead at the start and has managed to hold it since. 2nd there is Max Bianchi. He's going to extend his championship lead. But he's still got to do some work tomorrow to wrap up the title. But what a performance from Mario Cordoni. Got his first win in the GT Sports Club last time out at Algarve. He won the qualifying race, then he won the main race, and he's continuing that form here. Mario Cordoni through the final corner, takes the checkered flag. The Italian wins at Misano in a Ferrari. That's probably a happy man. Out of the final corner comes Max Bianchi. He's going to finish in 2nd place and extend his lead at the top of the championship. That is good news for him for tomorrow's race. 3rd across the line is going to be Patrick Van Klabbeke for Scuderia Villorba Corsa. And there he is. That's how far back he is. He's still on the back stretch. You've still got these guys squabbling for position. They're going to come across the line first, aren't they? No, sorry, they're a bit further back. My apologies. They're at the 10 and 11, a sequence of corners. But here is Van Klabbeke. Good drive from him. He's 6th in the championship at the moment, and this will do him the world of good. He's going to finish 3rd. It's only going to be his 2nd podium of the season. Finished 3rd in the main race in Barcelona, and it's 3rd here in Misano for Van Klabbeke in the qualifying race. But through the final corner comes this battle that's kept us entertained all day. Cedric Mezard crosses the line to finish 4th. 5th for Louis-Philippe Sonnen, also winning the Iron Cup class. Jean-Michel Bart 6th. Christoph Ulrich 7th. 8th across the line, Michael Lanting. So he doesn't wrap up the Iron Cup title today. I think I said Sonnen won Silver Cup, didn't I? I mean Iron Cup, I should say. But yes, Lanting doesn't wrap it up today. 9th place for the 99 United Autosports Audi of Phil Bergen. 10th place for De Pundert. And we lost in all of that Michael Luzic, the American driver, who came into the pits, unfortunately. So he didn't manage to finish the race. But there is a no doubt over the moon Mario Cordoni. And were it not for a slow start to the season, only picked up 10 points in the first 2 rounds at Barcelona and Paul Ricard. He's picked up 8 points just for winning this one. So were it not for a slow start, he could well have been a championship challenger, but not to be. What an entertaining race that was. Don't forget to join us for the main race tomorrow. A little longer than 25 minutes, but I could have done with that race going on a little longer. Here's a look at the results after 16 laps of racing in the GT Sports Club here at Misano. Mario Cordoni takes the victory. He was pushed so hard in the early stages by Max Bianchi, but Bianchi then started to drop back. But it's a front row start for Max tomorrow as he looks to wrap up the title. He is going to be leading the championship, and it's going to be a 6-point advantage he has at the top of the championship. There's Cordoni. And he is very happy with that, as you can imagine, as are the AF Corsa team. Took pole position by only 0.3 of a second over Max Bianchi. And like I say, Bianchi stayed with him in the early stages, but couldn't stay with him for the rest of the 16 laps. He might have been swearing there. Maybe that's why he said sorry. So if you speak Italian and you heard anything, I'm sorry, but I've no idea. And Max Bianchi then with that 2nd place finish. Italian 1-2. And then high fives for Belgian Patrick Van Klabbeke for his 3rd place finish. As I say, it's only his 2nd podium of the season. Finished 3rd in the main race in Barcelona. So they all great camaraderie in the series, isn't there? It's been a great first year of the GT Sports Club. And I think these drivers have enjoyed their season. And tomorrow, they will get a final reward when they find out where they finish in the championship standings. So here's a look at the highlights of that race at the start. It was a good start from Van Klabbeke. It was a little bit of a slow start from the front row for Max Bianchi, but the biggest problem was for Cedric Mezard. He's on the inside there in that, all red Ferrari in car number 8, but he got passed around the outside by Van Klabbeke. And since then, he dropped back and wasn't able to get back up the order, finishing down in 4th place in the end. The battles kicked off almost instantly. The WRT Audi of Jean-Michel Bart, probably the most entertaining man out there. Van Klabbeke was under big pressure from Cedric Mezard. Mezard desperate to try and find a way past and close in on his title rival, but he was never able to do it. That's how close it was for the lead of the race in the early stages. but ultimately nothing Max Bianchi could do. And then we had Jean-Michel Bart fighting hard with Louis-Philippe Sonnen, and also getting past Michael Lanting, who was at one point at the front of this queue, but then he started to drop back. Jean-Michel Bart went for a little taster at the final corner. He would eventually do that move, and it was mega. Oh, and there was the spin then, so that's all we saw of Cedric Mezard, but he lost it by himself by the looks of things, coming down towards the first corner. Then we had some more superb side-by-side action. That was Mezard, not spinning this time, but making a place up, getting past the 51 car of Ulrich. And then Mezard went around the outside of Jean-Michel Bart, and then quickly deposed of the 53 car as well. This was that lunge from Bart, great stuff. Couldn't hold the position though. He managed to get in front of Sonnen, but Louis-Philippe Sonnen got him back at the next corner. Mario Cordoni, through all of this, was disappearing off in the lead of the race, and he took a well-earned victory, his third win in a row in the GT Sports Club. Second across the line for Max Bianchi. He extends his championship lead, and that championship fight will go down to the wire tomorrow. So the sun continues to set. Beautiful Italian sky. This is how the results stand. Bianchi second, Van Klabbeke there in third place, a minute back in a 25-minute race in the end. That was the pace advantage that Cordoni and Bianchi had. Cedric Mezard finishing in fourth place. Then that fantastic battle between Louis-Philippe Sonnen, Bart, Ulrich, Lanting, ending up with Sonnen taking the fifth position. Bergen ninth, De Punde 10th, and Luzic retired, unfortunately, 4 laps from the end. So the drivers making their way up to the podium, and a beautiful evening for it. That's going to be their sight, a view over the Adriatic countryside. And as they wait to come out onto the top step, there ain't nobody better than Mario Cordoni, and he is going to be the man on the top step of the podium in just a couple of moments' time. Just getting a little refreshed out the back there, and then they'll be heading out onto the podium. We've got our Iron Cup drivers as well. And there's Martin Lanting, who hasn't yet wrapped up the title in the Silver Iron Cup. So Patrick Van Klabbeke comes out, and it's third place on the podium for him for AF Corsa. It's Max Bianchi for second position, and Mario Cordoni is the man on the top step. And it'll be the Italian national anthem here in Misano. AF Corsa, Kessel Racing, and AF Corsa in top 3. And there are the trophies being handed out now. Third place for Patrick Van Klabbeke, and he's very happy with that, isn't he? Max Bianchi there, second. But Mario Cordoni is the man on the top step again. What a superb run of form he is in at the moment, as they all get together on the top step. 2 Italians and a Belgian, all in Ferraris. the top 3 in the qualifying race, and that'll be the top 3 on the grid tomorrow as they spray the champagne. So Cordoni is still in championship contention as well. He will have gained 2 points on Bianchi, so he'll be 18 points off the lead. So in theory, if Cordoni finished second tomorrow and Bianchi retired, then Cordoni could win the title. Although we've still got Mezard to consider if he has a good race. So it's still a long shot for Cordoni, but he's going to do his best. There, in third place on the podium, Phil Bergen. It's second place for Michael Lanting, the Monegasque racer. And it's Louis-Philippe Sonnen, who is the man who wins in the Iron Cup. And as a result, takes a bit of an advantage out of Lanting's lead, but it is now just 24 points. And Louis-Philippe Sonnen, the Belgian, is on the top step. So he's taken 2 points out of Lanting's lead. So yes, it'll be 24 points. So basically he's got to win and hope Lanting doesn't finish tomorrow. So the Belgian national anthem on the top step. And there's a podium for Phil Bergen. And Michael Lanting there in second position. Debut in the championship, this for Phil Bergen. But the top step for Louis-Philippe Sonnen. They'll now all get together up on the top step of the podium.
Okay, up the caps, please. Okay, no.
Let's go, champagne.
And now, let's drink champagne on the podium.
And now it's time for the champagne for the Iron Cup drivers, who have their own class if they're and they're going for it, aren't they, on the top step. Michael Lanting enjoying himself. He'll have to wait till tomorrow to spray the champagne for his title victory, and no doubt Louis-Philippe Sonnen will be doing his best to try and stop him, but Sonnen is the winner of the race here. Make sure you join us tomorrow for the final round of the GT Sports Club. We've got championships to be won, and it'll be absolutely fantastic. So join us tomorrow.